to know thyself. I think that one of the most powerful and thought-provoking questions you really can ever ask yourself, or anybody for that matter, is really, who am I and why are you here? Who am I and why am I here? When we ask ourselves these questions and really look into ourselves on a deep level, we really can, it answers so many questions for us. It helps us understand that we don't have to prove anything to anyone but ourselves. And that in order to be loved by others, we need to be able to be ourselves. I mean, that's what all of us want, right? But in order to do that too, we also have to give that. Whatever we're expecting for us, we have to be willing to give to others as well. And so by really sitting down and saying, you know what, who am I? And really looking from an internal level of who you are and why you're here, we're tapping into that divine guidance. And this is the all-encompassing reason of why we're here in the first place, experiencing our lives. You know, we have this divine guidance that's available to us that I've spoken about in previous videos, but now I want to go a little bit deeper in about the aspect of knowing who we are. We are such powerful creators that if we tap into this guidance and we communicate through our emotions, because our emotions are our communication, if we emotionally communicate what we want, it's given to us. Whether that's love, relationships, career, whatever we want to experience. If we send that out with a heartfelt message to our divine, they hear it and they send it to us. No questions asked. It's just done. And sometimes they know what we need before we even know what we need. But we have to remember, in order to tap into this guidance, we have to ask. Because they're not allowed to interfere in our lives because of free will. We're here on free will. But one of the really most amazing things that ever happened to me is when I started really looking into myself and saying, you know, who are you? And it was at a point in time in my life when I was just like starting over. And I just wanted to know who I was, because I'd never figured that out. And it's not the external things. It's like, who are you on the inside? You know, what is important to you? What do you value? What do you nurture? What is essential for you in your life? And when we start really looking into those things and we ask from a place of peace and balance, not anything like overly excitement or really dreary. We have to find that peace and harmony, that balance within us. And when we ask from that place, from a sincerity, the sincerity of a place also where you give gratitude for your life, because you're here. You're here for a very, very important reason, and it's very specific. And when you utilize this divine guidance through knowing who you are and developing who you want to become, it's a beautiful thing. It is the most beautiful experience that I think individuals could ever have, and it's the way we should be living our lives anyway. And it's not that anybody's done anything wrong necessarily. I think that we just, over time and through generations, we feel like we have to prove ourselves and our worthiness, you know, in our jobs and to other people in our lives. But in reality, if we're proving ourselves to ourselves and we're making ourselves happy and truly being honest with who we are as individuals and what we want and what is our responsibility and what is not, we give ourselves a lot of grace. And we also give the other people in our lives a lot of grace. And when we approach this, who am I? You know, to know thyself is divine. To know thyself divine. That means that to know yourself, you have to realize you are a divine being, having this human experience. to grow not only your soul, but also humanity along with you. And when we get to know who we are on the inside, and we follow that guidance, everything on the exterior becomes a learning experience. It's an experience for us to take into consideration and say, how can I utilize this in my life? Is it something that is adding value and making me feel good and I feel more prosperous? Is it adding to who I am? Can I take from it something? And everything we can take something from. But is it adding value to your life? Or is it teaching you what you don't want to become? Or is it teaching you something that you don't need? You know, what is it showing you? It's an opportunity to define who you are. And you can best define who you are by looking inside. Because all of those experiences that we've had throughout our life, they've already been determined. We've already sifted and sorted through it, through our physical bodies in many different aspects. Now all we have to do is tap into, what did we choose? And if there's something that we're not feeling the most certain, dig a little bit deeper. Why aren't we feeling certain? Is it because it's not for us? Or is it because of a misbelief about ourselves? Those are two of the really good questions. Both have positive outcomes to gain and to add value to our lives. Some of the things that I think are really important is, aside from understanding that you have nothing to prove, you have nobody to prove your worthiness to, and to feeling love and to be loved. You are lovable, and you are worthy of love, and you are worthy to love, just like anybody else, at any time in your life. And you don't have to prove that to anybody, ever, at all. And I hope from this very moment that as you go forward, you realize, I don't have to prove myself to anybody. I can just be me, and the right people will love me and appreciate me and learn from me. They'll take what they need from the positive and negative, and they'll grow their soul. And that's what we're all here to do. And I think it's really important maybe to try saying this, continuously saying in your mind as you go about life and you hit a point where there's uncertainty, say to yourself, I'm perfect just the way I am. Because you're perfect just the way you are. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. Life wouldn't give you something that you can't handle. And many times it gives us blessings that we don't recognize. We have to open ourselves up to those blessings, right? And sometimes they hand us situations where we have to learn that this isn't going to be best for us. And those are lessons that hold many blessings in our lives as well. And one of the things that I really think is important for people to understand in every relationship within our lives is the right person in a loving relationship will see this. They'll see it. Or you'll grow into this together. Sometimes you have to kind of, grow together, and you just ebb and flow, and you kind of have to give up something that you want for the other person to catch up so that they can provide for whatever it is that you want. So just give yourself a little bit of time. Give yourself a little bit of grace. And understand that you're perfect just the way that you are. Perfect, perfect, perfect. You couldn't even be more perfect because you're divinely created. And remember, to know thyself, and to know thyself divine because you are divine. And really, honor who you are. Honor yourself, honor your wishes, honor your dreams, honor your desires. Know that they're there for a reason. We don't wish for things or want things that aren't for us, that aren't to our betterment. We wish for these things because on an internal basis, love jobs, careers, situations, experiences. We want these because it's in our internal knowing. And if we follow the growth aspect of knowing thyself, divinely knowing ourselves, and following that divine guidance, we can't go wrong. We just can't go wrong. I also think that it's really important to understand that our external experiences are there to help us learn and to help us grow. They're not there to define us. They're not there to define us. They're there as opportunities for us to define ourselves. And that's important to comprehend and grasp as we take on these new life experiences through spiritual development. And there's the veil between heaven and earth are really separating, and the two are coming together, and it just depends on which side of history we want to end up on. And I think that really as individuals we come here alone, we leave alone, so therefore really knowing on a divine level through that guidance, to define who we are, to define our reasons to be here, to define what we want to achieve in our lives is incredibly important. And it all begins with knowing thyself, knowing who you are, what you want to become, who you want to be, and that your life is priceless. All human life is priceless. And how you interact with others really has a reflection on you. So when I know personally, when I treat people poorly, it's because I'm not feeling good within myself. And those are moments that are opportunities for me to grow. I get to go to the person that I know that I mistreated and apologize. That to me is what confession's all about. We're confessing to ourselves that what we did wasn't correct, but we're also adding to the collective in our community and humanity by going to this person so that they learn. You are showing it by leading an example, hopefully, and also by hopefully helping this person realize that you are wrong, and that you acknowledge that what you did hurt their feelings, or what you did was incorrect and affected them in some way that was unbecoming of behavior perhaps that you, for me, that I really wanted to express and show about myself. Letting those outer experiences define only through, allowing those outer experiences to define us only through the choices and decisions we make because of them. Because we had this experience, what did we learn from it? What can we take from it? How can we grow? And remember, we go through positive and negative experiences. And more so, we learn through the negative about what we don't want to be or what we don't want to become. And that opens up a whole bunch of opportunity to learn what we do want to become. We understanding that life's a journey, and it has a profound purpose that connects us to each other. But mostly, the most profound thing is growing your soul. That's part of the teaching. If you're a Christian, that's a part of the teachings of Jesus Christ. He said, we're supposed to. Jesus was an example. He was a leader to show us how to live our lives. And he lived his life with purpose and meaning, and therefore giving us an example of how we should live our lives. It's not that he wanted us to praise him, per se. It's that he wanted to set the example for us on how we can live our lives and become the best people that we can be. And I think that understanding this makes a whole lot of difference when we start to ask ourselves, who are we? And understanding that to know thyself, that we're all really, truly divine beings here, having a human experience to grow, expand our souls to meet perfection as Jesus did.